Ah, there you are. I was beginning to think you weren't coming, Master.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Ben. I'm a gamer.
And I'm James, an outdoorsman.
And together we make up the Twin Engines of Destruction.
And today we are reviewing Episode 5 of Obi-Wan Kenobi. We are almost there to the finale, and we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, so let's get to it. Let's have some fun.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. And I think we both really wanted to enjoy this episode. We were really expecting kind of a lot. We got the flashback. We got some good things that I wanted, but there was also a lot of like negatives and loopholes and just things that kind of dragged the whole thing down for us. But before we get to that, let's just talk about the positives right now. Let's stay positive. All right, yeah. Let's try our best, and let's talk about what we did like about this episode.
Well, we can agree that the opening scene just is amazing.
Yeah.
You start off on Coruscant right away. You could, is that Coruscant? You know? And then, we see these guys in a flashback, like pre-Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah, because their haircuts and all that.
Yeah, Anakin with his little braid.
Yeah.
Looking spiffy. I mean, that first time he turns around, he looks a little aged, but the de-aging technology comes into work after that when they start fighting and stuff, and he looks better. He looks younger again.
A great scene.
Yeah, dude, they're fighting, like, they're young again, Master. He's calling him Master, just like we remember. Good old days. They're training together. Great. I love it. And the fact that they keep going back, because I was worried. I was like, oh, okay, well, that was it. That's all we're getting. But then they go back to it throughout the episode, and I really like that. And it does kind of flesh out and parallel the story that's they're telling at the same time. So that was a good story device. And it was also just fun to see. So that was one big positive. One huge, if anything, that was one of the biggest positives. The only other big positive I would say would be seeing Anakin fight again, but this time when he's Darth Vader and against Reva. I like Reva more in this episode. She continues to improve for me. Her acting gets a little bit better in this episode. It's a little more believable. Are we getting into negatives?
Yeah, I think we're going to be jumping from here.
We have nothing left to get to. So.
Yeah, let's just jump into what we didn't like. Let's talk about our dislikes.
A lot of the dialogue in this seems very like even Obi-Wan seems like he's phoning it in at times. And like in the very beginning we were talking about when we were watching it, how they're just like, oh no, the Empire is here. They're gonna kill us, guys. Oh, well, maybe we should hide or something. They're just very nonchalant about the whole thing. Nobody's like screaming, yelling, like getting frantic. There's none of that. It's very kind of calm, cool, and collected. You said it's because maybe Obi-Wan was like dialing into
Alec
Guinness's performance and trying to like hone in on that. And I can see that. That's a good point. But at the same time, it's like nobody's freaking out here. Not even Obi-Wan seemed like he was freaking out at all. Hatch doors won't open. Oh, there's a vent. It's too big for me to get through. Darn it. Oh, look. Leia's here. And Leia's just gung-ho. Leia just knows how to use electrical equipment. She knows how to fix hatch doors anywhere, I guess. Any kind of hatch door. She can fit into a vent, thankfully enough. Very convenient.
See, I could totally see this situation working great. I think this has potential for a great setup. Okay, so they're trying to hold off the Empire over here, but she's crawling in here to get to a tight spot. Mm-hmm. And I could totally see that working. Very claustrophobic. She's trying to maybe someone's dialing her in on through comm, maybe like like Jurassic Park style. Like follow the vents. And then you're gonna turn here. Put this button, that
like
would
somebody
work.
Coaching her through it.
Yeah, and then hurry because they're breaching through. I could totally see that working.
Okay.
You're putting a lot of pressure on this child, and then guess what? That Lola droid that she has, all of a sudden, it's in there and it's trying to kill her because it's brainwashed by the Empire. I can see
that part goes the way it goes in the show. Like she's able to get the thing out, and then it helps her fix it.
I remember in like episode 2, like that thing had a little buzz saw.
Yeah.
So imagine like you're like in a tight little thing, and this thing's flying, and maybe cutting other wires. You know what I mean? So like, I think that had a great setup, and I don't know what happened. Maybe they had to edit some scenes out, maybe delete some scenes, but that had so much potential that just kind of got lazy.
This is where we get the realization that many people have already predicted and knew, was that Reva was one of the younglings that was there during Order 66. She somehow got away. She hid next to dead bodies. It's a really sad story. I was kind of enjoying that part. It was like traumatic for her to tell that story, and this guy, like I said, this is where I was starting to enjoy her acting a little more. She was making it believable while she was retelling it. And is actually wanting to kill Darth Vader and betray him this entire time.
Yeah, I did think that was a really cool scene. And, we're just piecing together her more as a character. Now we're able to understand why she was so eager,
her motives.
and yeah, exactly. So it's fleshing her out a little bit more. Still not a character I generally like.
Yeah.
But at least they're at least trying to make her a character. So eventually the troopers break through and they're running down these tunnels. The refugees are running through these tunnels. They're being chased by the Imperials. They're losing the fight. So Tala, which kind of seemed like they were trying to make her out a little bit of like a romantic interest to Obi-Wan.
Either that or a character on her own, like just like for her own solo stuff.
Yeah, because they did break down her too. Like, I joined the Empire and they told me that we were gonna stop these people that weren't paying taxes or whatever, and turned out they were
killed everybody.
People.
And they killed them all, and there were 6 of them were children.
Yeah, and so like that haunts her. Okay, fine, I can respect that. That could once again. Characterization. Now you see why she's so eager to help Obi-Wan and Leia.
Or anybody. Like
exactly.
The Empire's clutches.
So I get that. And then, of course, right away, you just had to say it. It's like in the old cop movies. Like, she was 2 days away from retirement. Yep. She bites the dust. She's dying.
Oh, yeah, they blow up. They use a thermal detonator on everybody. And we were like, why didn't you just toss it? Like, she was far enough away. Like, she didn't have to hold it. If she really didn't want to, she could have tossed it. She had enough time. Toss it towards the bad guys.
She should have thrown it at Reba. I mean,
yes, because they survived that. Because they were supposed to be right next to her and a bunch of stormtroopers.
Yeah,
Reva survives it, but of course she could use the Force or whatever to escape. If anything, to make Reva even more of a badass, they should have had Tala throw it, and then Reva just like toss it back with the Force and then blow her up. So that would have been way cooler. Look, we could write it so much better right here, right now.
Yeah, oh man.
But then we get some cool shit. We get Darth Vader coming in there. He lands. Obi-Wan's like. He's here for me. I figured it out. He's here for me. I can stall him. And then they come up with this plan behind the scenes. It reminded me of fucking the third sequel movie where Chewie's supposed to have died, and then guess what? He's in another ship.
Yeah, like very once again convenient. They should have been called like Episode 4 Convenient.
It's the same exact thing. They have Rey shoot the one with her lightning, like completely destroy this one ship with the Force. Only to have it be a bait and switch and have the other ship take off and nothing happen. Same exact thing happens right here. Darth Vader, we see this awesome Darth Vader power where he uses the Force to completely, like Star Killer from
Force Unleashed.
The Force Unleashed when he drags down the Star Destroyer. Same thing, he just uses one hand, completely dismantles this ship, lands it, tears it apart, and then this other one's just like, woo!
Yeah, like, yeah, and he didn't do anything. He didn't like, let me stop that one too.
Like, he was using this hand to tear this one apart. He could just use this one real fast.
Yeah, it was very convenient. And the graphics were really wonky there. The special effects when, like, Vader gets there and it takes off, it just looks weird.
They get away. Vader doesn't stop them. And then we get Reva. I like, a little too late, girl. Like, you should have came in while he was tearing this ship apart. That's your time to strike, girl. Like, what are you doing? She waits till he's done and completely undistracted, and then she decides to strike.
And now he's gonna be mad because he just
he's
failed.
Super pissed.
You're gonna go at this guy when he's like gonna be raging.
So then we get one of the last positives of this episode, which is this fight between Darth Vader and Reva, who attacked at the worst time possible. And for the first half of this fight, Vader doesn't use a lightsaber at all, and I thought that was pretty cool. We don't really see a lot of that, and somebody with Vader's power could definitely hold his own without a lightsaber, especially against someone like Reva. But he even has this great moment where they're fighting, and then like he forces her lightsaber to stop, and then he like catches it and then breaks it in half. He takes one part and then throws the next part to her. And I thought that was so sick. Like, he's like, come at me then. You want to fight? Let's fight. Let's go.
Because you could see she's like running behind him and this and that. And he's still kind of like blocking her. And
he's like just dodging and just...
he has she's more nimble, but he's more experienced.
Throws and throwing them.
Yeah. That was really cool. That was really fun. They had a cool little lightsaber fight. And of course he confronts her like, did you not think I would know?
He knew. We find out that he knew the whole time.
Yeah, and that's all it is. That's all the Imperials and the Sith are. Ever scheming against each other.
It's a big chess game with them.
Yeah. And I dug that. I believe that Vader would know.
Yeah.
And just pretend to not know just because she's suiting his needs,
Exactly. Like her rage is strong enough that he can Like, get her to do what he wants for a little while until he can get rid of her.
Yeah, she's still useful to him, as, she got him close to Kenobi, so...
Yeah.
It made sense for him. Vader stabs her, so Vader gets her exactly the way that she got the Inquisitor. Yeah.
The dumbest thing that anybody can do in these shows or any kind of story, they do it. Vader and the Inquisitor, the Grand Inquisitor, both leave Reva alive. Yeah. They don't end her. They don't chop her head off. They could have done anything. You know she's going to be a threat. You know she's going to be annoying. If for anyhow she survives this attack, you know she's going to be a pain in your side. Just get rid of her now. Just do it now. Yeah. Just get rid of her.
Once again, that's very convenient. Because normally Vader strikes me as the kind of person who would finish the job.
Exactly. Especially because you're Vader, dude. You don't want people thinking you're weak. You're going to finish the job. You're going to show that you have power, that you are not to be messed with. You're going to let this woman completely, plot against you, and then you're just gonna let her live?
Well, like we mentioned before, Star Wars was never meant to be this, watertight, Christopher Nolan movie. It has its conveniences, even in the original trilogy.
Has its slip-ups.
But guys, try a little harder. Write a little harder. And yeah, there's just a lot of conveniences. Of course, they had to leave her alive because we know she's gonna... I'm gonna call it now. She's gonna come back. Okay, episode 6, the... next week's episode, the finale. Vader has Obi-Wan against the ropes. He's beating him. He's all these people are gonna suffer and die because of him, and she's gonna show up, wounded as she is, and help him defeat Vader. And we
hold him off.
Yeah, and we may get that fight with the fifth brother finally.
Yes,
and she's in a weakened state, so he has more of an equal ground. So, they leave her for dead. Obviously, she's still alive, but they walk away. Vader and the Grand Inquisitor just like... and they walk away. They
high five.
Yeah, and they leave this girl there, and she's still alive, and she notices something in the sand. And it's the hologram projector that Obi-Wan used to have. And Bail Organa left a message.
Talking about Luke.
Yeah, and it's like all garbled, but she makes out, I'll head to Tatooine, protect the boy.
Because she's got this information that nobody else has besides Obi-Wan right now. So that could be interesting. It just depends what they do with it.
One more nitpick.
Go ahead.
I just thought about it. Why would Obi-Wan give him that thing? Why would Obi-Wan give the swindler the thing that has crucial information that he...
Well, because he thought he was going to die, possibly.
Why would you give it to someone anyway? Hide it somewhere. Dude, break it. I would have stepped on it.
Well, because he wants somebody else. If he dies, he needs somebody else to go protect Luke.
I still think, who? The guy that...
The fake Jedi?
Who? Ice Cube's son? Who do you think would be up to the task? I'd rather just... you want to protect the kid? Break that thing.
Yeah, that's true.
So no one ever finds that information.
Yeah, you're completely right.
I still enjoy the show. I can honestly say that I'll probably like it more upon second or third viewing. We just saw it half an hour ago.
I have been enjoying the episodes more through repeat viewings.
Another thing that bugs me, and it always bugs me, that I watched it, they end up taking off. The refugees take off at the end with Obi-Wan.
Oh, yeah.
And you have no Star Destroyer up there with TIE fighters to go after them?
Where did Vader come from? Where did his Lambda ship take off from? He must have taken off from a Star Destroyer up there in space.
Yeah, he was up through hyperspace. So he must have come out.
And they must be sitting up there waiting for him. So it's it's the same thing with them leaving the Inquisitorious Fortress, whatever the fuck it was called.
There's nobody gonna chase you. Nobody's over in pursuit.
They're just gone. They just get away scot-free.
Alright, folks, so that's about it. Let's end this thing. So, Ben, what did you think? What would you rate this episode?
So, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to rate this one about at a 6. Now, I know for a lot of you who are being super critical about this series, that's still pretty high. I don't want to go so far as a 5 because, like I said, that Darth Vader duel and seeing the flashback of Anakin, that did a lot for me. So that was great to see. And then seeing Darth Vader fight, it was a very creative fight. I thought you don't get to see that a lot, like I said, with just Force user going against a lightsaber and then going into a lightsaber fight. Because he was just doing a bunch of the Dragon Ball Z stuff where he's and just dodging and then catching, and that was great. I love seeing that. I'm still enjoying it, and like James says, we both still have faith that they might be able to get their shit together in this last episode. So that's what I'm banking on. If it doesn't, and this last episode is complete trash, I'm gonna bring down my point on all of them. At least one point.
Well, I generally throughout the run of the series, I've been a little bit more optimistic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to give it a 6 out of 10 too. This is probably my least favorite of the episodes, and it's weird saying that because there was so much good there, like
Potential.
the flashback and the fight, the Vader fight. Yeah, exactly. There was some cool elements, but the convenient writing is really apparent. I mean, those cracks are really showing in the writing, and like I've mentioned before, we've always talked about Star Wars has never been this watertight script. It's not a Christopher Nolan movie. Even go back to the original trilogy that everyone worships. It's very convenient. A lot of the stuff is very convenient, but you know what? It's enjoyable. But this one is just way too much, conveniences that it just takes you out of it.
We have one episode left. We are really banking on them pulling it together for this last episode. I think they can do it. I don't have the most confidence anymore, but I still think there's enough there that they could definitely have a really cool finale. And, I mean, that's what we're hoping for, man. I'm praying to the Force gods.
Qui-Gon, if you're out there.
Oh my god, if we don't get no goddamn Qui-Gon in the last episode, bro, I'm rioting.
I'm hoping the season finale next week is at least an hour long.
It has to be, dude. Yeah. It has to be 60 minutes long, if not longer. I would like an hour and a half.
All right, well, we're pretty much done here, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and let us know, are we on the minority? Or maybe we being too harsh? Or I'm sure there's a ton of people out there that are even way more harsher, just ripping this thing apart. So let us know down below.
Yeah, people hate this thing, but we're holding out hope because that's what Star Wars is all about, baby. So again, guys, let us know. Please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next review.
Season finale, baby.
My voice cracked, but it's fine. I'm just gonna let it ride.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Thank y'all for joining us.
See you next week.